Hi everyone, I am Francine from Huawei Global Training Center. Today, let's continue to discuss OpenSpec Swift components. First of all, let's get to know the definition about Swift. The OpenStack Object Store project, known as Swift, is a build for scale and optimizer for durability and availability, and currents across the entire dataset. Swift is the ideal for storing structured data that can grow without bound, applicable to the Internet application extenders such as Huawei Cloud Disk and so on. It also provides virtual machine image store for Nova components. To help us understand better, let's get to know some terminologies related with Swift. Account is not traditional user, but a user-defined management storage area. Container defines a namespace for objects, which are the same as folder for a normal file system. Object, the object that contains each of our basic storage entities and its own database. Ring represents a mapping between the names and entities stored on disk, their physical location. Well, you may doubt about what is the relationship between all these terms. This picture illustrated that the object storage system organized that in hierarchy. Account represents the top level of the hierarchy. You can create a number of accounts, account 1 and account 2, which in account 1 you can create multiple containers containing 1, containing 2, which containers can create multiple objects all through the container like a folder, but the container cannot be next between each other. Well, in account 2 can also have the same structure. It's the logical relationship between them. In Swift, objects are protected by storing multiple copies of data. So, in the case of node failure, the data can be retrieved from another node. There are another relative terms about Swift. For example, region, a concept that is geographically divided, considering the disaster recovery, for example, the data concerns from different cities or even different countries. Zone, also known as availability zone, which is a physical region where resources use independent power supplier and networks. To enhance application availability, you are advised to create instances in different zones. Different availability zones can be from different data centers in different countries, or even from the same data center. Node represents a physical service, while disk is the storage divided in the physical server. Cluster, deployment architecture for redundancy consideration, is collection of nodes that are integrated for the purpose of improving reliability. This picture illustrates the relationship between the terms region, zone, node, and cluster. There are two regions, region A and region B, which can be represent two different cities. Considering redundant, each region has two zones. In the availability zone A are there three storage nodes, node 1, node 2, and node 3. In the zone B, also have three nodes. The same structure for the region B. Well, a cluster consists of the system in both regions. Now, let's get to know about the architecture of Swift components. First of all, Swift API receives object storage application from user. The keystone authenticates the identity of the users. After passing the authentication, the request will be submitted to the Swift proxy component, which is a proxy for Swift, determines the storage object should be replaced and which storage. Eventually, the object is stored on the specific storage node, and the result is returned to the user. That's all for this section. Let's recap the main points. Firstly, we saw the basic concepts about Swift, the common glossary and the key components, and we took a closer look about Swift system architectures and how it handles on user requests about object store. Well, that's all for this part. Thanks for attending.